Jalen proposed this one, so I want to hear him talk first. Is Derrick Henry the last Hall of Fame, like the really great, I guess, running back of our generation that we're gonna see? Is that what you mean by that?
So basically, I just heard it in passing. So the premise is
Wait,
basic.
you heard this on a show? I think I
Yeah,
heard.
I heard this on the show. They said it in passing, and so then
Oh,
it got me to thinking. They didn't dive into it, so I thought that we could. Um, the take was: Is Derrick Henry the last Hall of Fame? Well, will he be the last Hall of Fame running back? Um, Basically, the premise is the way that I guess the market is for for running backs nowadays. Will we ever see a running back have the longevity, stats, and I guess body physically and body of work to be able to become a Hall of Fame running back? I thought it was interesting. I don't necessarily have a take yet. I would say no.
oh,
I
she
think there's
does.
I think
My fault.
I think we'll have more. But I do think that they'll become less and less as time goes on. Unless we revert back to a running a fully not a fully, but a run heavy league. This season it looks like a run heavy league, but um, I don't I don't think he'll be the last one. I think that's a bit of a stretch, but I think
I
they'll
think
start to dwindle.
I think that's uh let me see. I maybe if they would have said he might be the last running back that you can start ranking as a top running back all time. But I think you go into the Hall of Fame based on what you do in your era. Like if everybody's only getting 600 yards a season, but you getting 1,000, that's gonna turn into the norm, and it's gonna be like, oh, he's dominated his era, and that's all we're gonna think about. We're not gonna actually think about each stat. We're just gonna think about 10 years ago. I remember when blah 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 was going crazy because
But
he was better than everybody else.
don't you think that if we're using Hall of Fame as the standard, don't you think that, to your point, will hold them to the standard of the Hall of Fame running backs stat wise? Because like you said, if you're the best in your era and you only get 500 yards in a season, I don't think I don't think the Hall of Fame committee is going to be like, well, yeah, just throw him in. He's the only one that had 500 yards that season when everybody else had 250 or something like that.
No, but if I mean, like I said, I think
I think it's a little bit of both.
if you start ranking or uh doing an all-time list of running backs, that's the only reason you comparing him to other running backs. I think to get into the Hall of Fame, and it's not Hall of Fame is not just like a one season thing. It's like if you're the best running back in your era consistently for a decade, then I think regardless, you're gonna get into the Hall of Fame. Especially now, the Hall of Fame is not like basketball. NFL is still a little bit hard to get into,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's getting a little bit easier and easier slowly NFL to get in. Like if we're being honest, Eli Manning shouldn't be considered a Hall of Famer, like at all. Like if we being honest, if we're holding a Hall of Fame standard to a Hall of Fame standard,
Yeah, in a
he,
vacuum. I think a lot of his goes to, I don't
yeah,
want to say
It's
narrative,
still
but
really debatable though, honestly.
it's very debatable. But
because
other factors come into play other than just like looking at Eli Manning.
yeah, because but we remember Eli for those two Super Bowls, and that's kind of my point. We'll remember this running back for dominating his era for 10 years, not necessarily for
Well,
specific stats.
it's a little different for quarterbacks with the Super Bowl because that's their stat. If just for example, Isaiah Pacheco, if they go on this crazy dynasty the next 2, 3 years and he dominates, but then after that and they stop winning and he stopped dominating, it's not gonna hold the same way as Eli Manning's 2 Super Bowls. You know what I mean?
Well, of course, but you said he also stopped dominating. That
Because
changes.
Eli was never dominant. He was never the league leader and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
His best stat was starting the most consecutive games. I mean, if you want to give him some points for that.
And Eli's is also based off of Brady too. I think if he would have just won two Super Bowls without both of them being
Yeah,
in his,
exactly.
Yeah,
Even though
I think that's the part of it that goes into like the narrative. Like in a vacuum, you got 2 Super Bowls. Congrats. But you beat Brady, and those are the only two of the 3 losses that he has.
yeah, because I can argue that Flacco was better than Eli. Let's just imagine Flacco had another Super Bowl, so they had the same amount of Super Bowls. I can
Yeah.
argue Flacco was better
I
than
mean,
Eli,
I buy it,
but
but
because
he
Eli,
didn't beat Brady.
yeah, because Eli's just against Brady, even though Flacco, uh, like I guess for his one, he beat Brady in the AFC Championship. It's not the Super Bowl,
Right.
so
And they're gonna credit it to like the defense too. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into it.
I think his name probably goes into it a little, fortunately, even though he's the much,
That
much
too.
less talented of the
That too.
Okay.
But to go back to the go ahead.
No, I was just gonna get y'all answers, and then I was gonna, I guess, ask a question that's reframed.
Oh, yeah. To go back to the running back thing, I don't think Derrick Henry will be the last, but I think it's coming to an end. It might be like CMC or something.
like of
Or
all time, we're talking about forever.
But
Like
you also gotta like,
because the way they use running backs is just so different now. Like take Detroit, for example. They got 2 running back 1s, really, but they split the carries. Like if it was just Jahmyr Gibbs, he might be on a crazy start, or if it was just what's his name, Montgomery, he'd just be having a great season. You know what I mean? But it's splitting carries, which makes them more effective. So people going like it's the NFL copycat league. They can be doing that. Other running backs coming to the league, especially if they like an Alvin Kamara type, they're not just gonna be getting the ball like just straight up run up the middle. They use them in the pass games, spread them out in the slot, stuff like that. They really just want another receiver, somebody that can be another receiver, but also can run between the tackles when they need it. So Derrick Henry, even though he can catch a little bit out the backfield, that's not his game. So I would say that's why I would say yeah, it's coming to an end because running backs aren't getting off like that anymore. Maybe
You think?
Saquon, he was projected good until he started getting hurt a lot, but
well, that's my
CMC, Saquon, maybe Alvin Kamara, even though, like I said, he's not a traditional running back. These type of guys gonna be like the last pure running backs to like get in. I think.
CMC has to stay healthy though, because he doesn't. He's not.
And that's another thing that goes into it, how much running backs get hurt, especially and then they fighting for contract. I mean, people don't even want to play running back no more. So it's not gonna be like the days of the 2000s. Definitely not.
I just believe as the standard, as the level of play goes down, the standard goes down. And so there's always going to be some people that rises above the standard, regardless of where that bar is. And I think when we're 10 years down the road, we're gonna look at that as we're gonna look at it as he was dominating as at his position at that time. Like Derrick Rose, for example, just retired. We know he had a good few seasons. Obviously, he had a really great one. But if we actually look at the totality of Derrick Rose's career, it's not a great career. It's just but we remember he dominated the league in 2011 through 2010 through 2013 or whatever it was.
And then the league dominated his knees.
I don't know. It's a good topic because I'm trying to imagine a spot where somebody can dominate for a short time and then we give it to them, or dominate in a lackluster era and we give it to them.
I think
I gotta see that first.
to that point, I think if that is, I mean, I guess to you and Reek's point, I think if that becomes a normal, like if running backs don't last more than 5 years, the running backs that have a good 4 years are going to go to the Hall of Fame. But I was just going to ask y'all. We named a few. We named Tamara, CMC, and Derrick Henry. After that, who do y'all think will be the next superstar running back, if any are in the league at the moment?
That's playing currently
Yeah,
in the
I
NFL.
mean, or a prospect, but I mean,
I think Jahmyr Gibbs, but like I said, he's splitting carries right now. Once he takes like a workload, maybe him. Jonathan Taylor, he's one of those traditional running backs, but he got to stay healthy.
There's always also running
Oh,
backs.
Bijan, we got Bijan.
I think
Even
that
though
was gonna be
it's
my
his
answer. Was
second
Bijan.
year,
I think Bijan could. I think Bijan could rise above everything just
he
because of
could he definitely got the talent to
his
do it.
pure talent. Yeah.
There's also running backs that like be backups and then turn into stars because of something. Like Jordan Mason. I'm not saying he's a
Yep.
star, but like CMC got hurt and now he's like going crazy, kind of. So it might be people that will become superstars that it's in the league now, but they don't have the opportunity yet. Because running back
Right.
is not no disrespect to you, Malin. Running back is a very in a vacuum easy position to play. You just kind
Fair.
of run the ball, find your hole, and go through it.
I mean, it's fair, but I mean, there's obviously there's more to go into it. But I mean, like you
Yeah,
said,
of course.
in the grand scheme mode, it's not hard. I mean, the hardest part about it is probably blocking because like you facing 6'3", 250 linebackers and stuff. But other
Yeah.
than that, it ain't that bad. But maybe maybe if Pacheco stays on the Chiefs and stays healthy, I think he could. I ain't gonna say Hall of Fame, but he would be a top back.
Do you think
He might
Pacheco?
get Hall of Fame just based with playing with Patrick Mahomes, honestly.
I was gonna say, do you think Pacheco is getting recognition because he's on the Chiefs?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
That's why people still know Jarrett McKinnon. He's from Georgia Southern. If he would have played for anybody else, he wouldn't be known. But he played with the Chiefs and was on some championship teams.
Yeah, but championships, like you said, don't help. They really don't help any other position but quarterbacks. It don't help or hurt, I should say,
Right.
unless you get like an absurd amount and
You
the
get
main
MVPs on MVPs.
and you're the main focus past the quarter outside of the quarterback, like Kelsey, for example.
Yeah. But I think if he stays with the Eagles, definitely, if they keep feeding him, he can stay healthy. He might start catching back up on the yardage list. Because did y'all see that list where they were saying like Derrick Henry was definitely gonna be the last one that reached 10,000 yards because he's already got like 9,500, something like that, something crazy.
Yeah,
But then everybody else after him was only in like the 6,000s.
he's tied for the most 200-yard games too.
See,
Uh,
like it ain't too many backs running for 200 no more.
and
Besides him,
he had 199 on Sunday.
exactly.
He couldn't break the record because he had 199. And they tried to get it to him at the end of the game, but they couldn't. But to be fair, he mentioned he fumbled on the 1 yard line. We still got a touchdown because we recovered it. But if he didn't fumble on the 1 yard line, he would have got his 1 yard.
Oh dang.
I'm trying to look at other running backs. Kenneth Walker, maybe he's also got to stay healthy.
Hey, what's the name? I don't know if he's a rookie or a first year, but for the Bengals, Chase Brown,
Yeah,
he can run.
I think being on the Bengals is gonna hurt him though, because
Probably.
they just want to pass.
But they used him a lot last game.
They were smart
Because they was playing the Panthers, but they used him a lot.
if they were smart, they would run the ball more. But Zeke was going to be one.
The fall off of Zeke is crazy.
Isn't it beautiful?
That's another one that's like when we're in 10 years, when we're just all gonna be chopping it up about football, Zeke's gonna be one of the ones where we're gonna be like, man, y'all remember when Zeke was going
I
crazy?
remember Zeke. That's gonna be like, oh, he knows ball type of pick.
Yeah.
I remember Zeke, boy. Hey. Especially when he was coming out of Ohio State. He was crazy.